Hey everybody, this is Preezy. Check out my website at www.listenuplistening5687.com. That's www.listenuplistening5687.com. You ready to chit chat and all of that? You ready to vent, let it out? Well, come on now. Come on, collab with Preezy. Come on and be on Listen Up, Listen In as a guest. Contact me at 718-354-8405. 718-354-8405. You can also contact me by email. listenuplistening5687@gmail.com. One more time. listenuplistening5687@gmail.com. Let's get it. Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Preezy from Listen Up, Listen In podcast. It's It's Friday. It's Friday. So we gotta tiptoe through the tulips. Hey, what's going on, y'all? Yes, I'm having fun. I hope y'all having fun. I hope y'all having a good day. All praises to Jehovah God and Jesus Christ every day. Amen. And guess what? Guess what? You woke up this morning and you should be feeling fine. And so before you go to work, when you come home, make sure you have a glass of wine. Now I'm just playing. Listen, give yourself a round of applause because you woke up this morning. Listen, life is too short. We gotta laugh. We gotta live. We gotta love. No matter what order it is, you got to do it. But I like to say live, laugh, love. I think last time on one of my episodes, y'all gonna hear it a little further down. I think I said live, love, laugh. And then when I listened to it, I said, oops. Yeah, was for real. But it don't matter what order it is. Just do it. And if your day wasn't going well, tomorrow, make it better. That's all. That's all you gotta do. Hey, listen, I got a great guest today. Yes, I do. Ooh, she wears so many hats. Got more hats than me in my closet. Let me tell ya. Yes. Y'all know that was corny, right? It's all good. I'm going to get better. And y'all going to come to my show. And I'm going to charge $275 for each ticket. Because I know y'all going to laugh with me. But anyway, we going to forget all of that. I'm ready to have a good time. Y'all ready to have a good time? I'm glad that y'all tuned in to Listen Up, Listen In podcast. And let's just sit back and get ready for my special guest, okay? Y'all ready? I'm ready. Let's get ready. And everybody ready? So let's get it.
Tanya, you ready?
Listen up, listen in. 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 Thanks for tuning in. Let's have a conversation. Talking worldwide, it don't matter your location. What you going through and the topic may have relation. Let's get some motivation. Swap out education. Every Friday we heal, laugh, improve, and grow. Put some nutrients in your mind, give you food for the soul. I know you pumped and preparing for your weekend and low. Might as well join the discussion and tune into the show. Listen up, listen in. Listen up, listen in. Listen up, listen in. Listen up, listen in. Listen up, listen in.
Hey everyone, thanks so much for tuning in to Listen Up, Listen In podcast. I'm your host, Preezy. Now before I start today's episode, I would love for you guys and gals to follow me on social media. Go to Instagram, Listen Up, Listen In 5687, and on Facebook, Listen Up, Listen In. You can also email me at listenuplistening5687@gmail.com. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, by following me on social media, you'll be able to see all the platforms my podcast is on. Wherever you consume my podcast, hit the subscribe button so you can be notified when a new episode is posted. Rate, review, and share this podcast. Now let's get back to Listen Up, Listen In. Hey everybody, welcome back to Listen Up, Listen In podcast. You know who I am, your host, Preezy, and I have a special guest with me today. Yes. Well, let me break this down to y'all. This is why she's special. She is a medical intuitive healer and life coach and is dedicated to helping others find peace in mind, body, and soul. She has several degrees, and as a board-certified psychiatrist, she seeks to pursue holistic treatment methods for people suffering from mental illnesses. Her mission is to change the conversation from coping with mental health issues to mental health wellness. And she also has an empowering podcast called Stepping in Soul Power. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Dr. Elizabeth Ssemanda. How you doing, Doc? How's everything?
Oh, I'm doing good. How are you? It's an honor to be on your podcast. Thank you.
Oh, thank you for being on my podcast. I really appreciate you being here. Now, let me tell you now, I read your bio and I'm like, woo-wee. You are wearing a lot of hats. And before I even get started, I just want to say all praises to Jehovah God and Jesus Christ, amen, because without God, we are nothing. And now, I'd like to ask you, where did you start from? Like, please tell me, who is Dr. Ssemanda? Dr. Elizabeth Ssemanda.
You know, I grew up in the DC area. I have a really big family. My dad had a lot of kids. I think a lot of us can relate to. He had a lot of kids. And in my family, like, there was definitely a push to do well, to get an education. And my dad also was of the mindset that when you turn 18, you can't be living here.
Oh,
wow. like you gotta go. So,
he gave you that landlord notice, huh?
Yes. And so that there definitely was a push for me. Like, I had to get it together and I had to have a plan. But I've always loved connecting with people. That's like, there's some things that when you're doing it, you're in your essence. And that when I connect with people, like as a psychiatrist or a coach, like I feel like I am in like time stops.
Yes.
And I'm there with them. And so, like I knew I wanted to be a doctor. So I like to learn. And so I went down this path. But I'm a lot of things. I'm a physician, but I'm very interested in changing the world for the better, because we need it right now more than ever.
Yes.
We've needed it before, but things are crazy right now. So
things are getting worse, right? It's just
yes.
It's definitely out of control. Wow. So, I mean, my sister, you got these degrees, Brown University, John Hopkins, Bloomberg School of Public Health. Wow. Warren Alfred Medical School at Brown University. University of Michigan. Undergraduate, doctorate, medical doctorate. I was like, well, if I read all of this, I done did the show for her. She don't have to say nothing but hello, good night, and that's it. But wow. So you specialize in mental health?
Yes.
Wow,
Yes.
that's awesome.
Yeah, because your mental health like really affects your quality of life. Like if your mind isn't right, if spiritually you are not intact, then everything else is going to suffer. Your
Absolutely.
relationships,
Yes.
like your job, like you, and so I've found like I can I can collaborate with people and really help them get to where they want to be.
Yes. Now, who are your clients? Are they anybody like young kids, adolescents, adults, senior citizens?
So so for my coaching practice, I see like adults all over the world. For my psychiatry practice, like I'm licensed in Colorado, California, and Texas, but I have a lot of I mean I work like you get to a certain point and you can kind of pick the days that you work. I work like 2 days a week in psychiatry, and then the rest of the time I spent like really trying to collaborate with other people who are interested in empowering the world.
Right. Now, go ahead. I don't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. No, but I see adults. I have seen kids. I do love the kids.
Yes.
I do love the kids. I have seen them. I've worked in the ER. I've worked in community mental health centers. I've worked in all types of organizations. But right now I have my own practice, and it's primarily adults.
Wow, that's great. That's really great. And now, I wanted to ask you, like, I know you decided to choose psychiatry to help others. Is there any particular reason why? Did you just by growing up seeing the things that's going on in the world and people just their minds is just all over the place?
So when you're in medical school, you get to kind of try everything, right? Like I did surgery rotations, I did OB-GYN, I've delivered babies, I did family medicine and internal medicine, and why I decided to focus on psychiatry is because it's one of the few specialties where you actually have time with patients. Like, and I don't know what your experience is with your primary care provider, but a lot of times they got like 10 or 15 minutes with you,
right.
And they really don't know you. And I love getting to know people on a really, really deep level. Like I probably know people better than their spouses.
Right.
So that like really, really getting in and connecting with people on a deep level and doing like real work. That's what I love. And seeing people, like the potential that people have for greatness. Like once your mind is right, once you're good in that aspect, the sky is the limit.
Right.
And that's where I like going with people. Like I like, we're not going to settle for what society has said, for what your family has said. We are going to help you get to what you truly want in your heart.
Right. So, a certified psychiatrist, their job is to find out the strength and the weaknesses in a patient, dealing with stress and things that trying to help them to get back to themselves as far as doing the things that they used to do in their spare time and be able to handle certain things like criticism. But my thing is this. People suffer in silence and they don't seek the treatment and they don't sometimes may not even realize that they have these conditions, right? So,
yes.
What do? Because some people are afraid, like, I ain't going to no psychiatrist, I ain't going to no life coach, it ain't even like that. I'ma pray on it. You got people that just hold things inside and are afraid to express themselves. So how do you know what to say to that person that may be afraid to open up to you?
I really believe everything in divine timing, right? Like we're all here having this life experience, and sometimes people aren't ready, right?
Right.
But for me, what I try to do is try to connect with them on a human level, because we are, in that sense, we are all connected, and you can connect with any person. You can find ways to connect with them on a human level, and take a genuine interest in who they are and what they're about. And once you do that, people may be open to exploring mental health, to exploring their spiritual health. But I like to honestly, I believe in meeting people where they're at, and when they're ready, then they can come. I'm not a huge proponent of forcing people into treatment.
Right.
But there is a huge stigma that we have here, like not just in the US, but all over the globe, like just seeking help when we're not feeling up to par, like mentally. And that's part of the reason why, like, I'm trying to connect with other people, like other doctors, other nurses, other healers, to really raise awareness and help change the conversation, so people feel like it's okay to speak out and to connect.
Awesome. I see you. So not only are you a medical intuitive, I always mess that word up. You know that? Intuitive.
Yeah.
Healer, life coach, and psychiatrist, and podcaster. That's a lot. Now, and you're handling it very well. So what are your treatments? I know that being a medical intuitive, you're getting into somebody's emotions and mental and spiritualness and trying to understand what their body is really saying, and overcoming chronic fatigue and the stress and the tension, and just reprogramming our thoughts, our negative thoughts, and just trying to do better in life.
Yeah.
But are all your patients up front? Like, do they tell you everything, or do you feel like sometimes they hold back? Because a lot of times we don't want to tell everything. A lot of people have trust issues. You can't go to your family. You can't go to your friends. Now I'm sitting up here with this doctor. It's a small world. I don't know what she may know. If I tell everything, is it going to get out? So how do you know when that you got that patient's undivided attention? Can you feel it?
I do believe that I can feel it. And I'll say this, right? Like, trust is earned. Mm-hmm. And I will, like, I'm a Black woman. And I know what it's like to be in, like, a person of color, and navigate the healthcare system here. Like, there definitely are differences. And even as a physician, like, I know the differences, like how, there is, like, bias, that's going on. So trust is earned. But I don't, I enjoy peeling back the layers right? People tell you when they're ready, when they feel comfortable around you. And my goal is for you to have a welcoming environment, so you do feel that way. So you do feel like it's okay to tell me exactly what's going on. And I trust in that process.
Awesome. The healer part. Explain that to me.
So, healer, when I think of what the word healer means, like healer is someone that helps to remove a burden from others, right? So that's a very broad statement. Like I could say, like, as a psychiatrist, I'm a healer, you know? I'm a certified hypnotist. As a coach, I'm a healer. So when I say healer, it means that I help to relieve the burden of others.
Right.
Yes.
Now, you created a practice. What's the name of that practice?
Oh, okay. So I've got a couple different things going on. I have
a couple.
Well,
as an entrepreneur, I'm giving you a new word. You as an entrepreneur, shizzle.
Yes.
That is awesome, sis. That is awesome. So
so my medical, intuitive, and coaching, like my coaching practice is Soul and You. And my psychiatry practice is called New You Psychiatry.
New You Psychiatry, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And that's where you offer holistic treatment options and psychiatric care as well. Wow. That's awesome. Now, we all know the different types of mental illness, and it's mood disorder, depression, bipolar, anxiety, and which is the personality, of course, and psychotic and schizophrenia. Excuse me, I'm sure you have dealt with all of that. Am I correct?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And they're even more, they're even more. There's like OCD, adjustment disorder, like they're cyclothymia, like they're disorders that aren't necessarily, mainstream, that people struggle with. But those are the ones that you've named are like some of the more common ones.
Right. There's a lot of disorders out there.
Yes.
Wow. So, who are the tougher clients, though? I don't know. I asked you what clients do you deal with, but who are the tougher ones? Like, really, really difficult to deal with. Like, you gotta really, really work hard with them.
Yeah, I think you have to want to be there, right?
Right.
Like that's why I'm a big proponent of treatment that is not forced, because like if someone doesn't want your help or doesn't want to connect, then you are really wasting their time.
Right.
So I would say that those are the tougher patients. Like, I don't think that there's, I don't like to make say like, oh, there's a certain diagnosis that's tough, because like I've seen, even within depression, I've seen depression look differently depending on the person. Like, depression could look very different. Like, some people get super irritable, other people are really sad, some people just stop caring, and so it can look very different. I would say the tough ones are people who don't want to be there. That's what I would say.
And the ones that don't think they have a problem. don't think they are sick.
Yeah.
Because I have a brother, he's mentally ill. I think he's schizophrenic. He's been schizophrenic for over, 35 years. And he doesn't believe it. You're crazy.
Yes.
That's what he'll say to us. No, we don't use that word crazy. We know how to talk to him. But he was like, I don't know why do you guys talk to me like I'm crazy? You're the one that's crazy. And you gotta laugh at it because you were like, maybe he right. Because he just, in his mind, he got it together, but he really doesn't. And he tries, and we encourage him to take his medications. That's another thing I'm going to talk about. We encourage him to take his medications because he's a different person than when he doesn't take his medication. And we don't want him to harm others, because he's not going to harm himself, but we don't want him to harm others. But we do encourage him to go to his programs and stuff like that and stick with it. So now when it comes to the medications, I know a lot of people like, hey, I'm not taking these meds. I don't want to take these meds. I don't like the side effects of these meds. But some of these people need their medications because they're a different person. And it's so sad that you have to take the meds, but it would be so much better if we could just do so many different things besides relying on the medications. But I always tell people, if you have to take those meds, please take them, because in New York City the mental illness is so bad, and they're pushing people in the trains, and they don't want to, a lot of them don't want to go to the shelters or go to the programs to get the help, and it's just so sad. So when it comes to medications, what do you think?
That is a very individual decision.
Right. Okay.
That's what I would say. There are some people who that's what they want to do. They're like, give me my Prozac and I'm good.
Right.
And some people don't want to do that. And I respect it may not be what I choose, but if they're not hurting themselves, if they're not hurting other people, then I respect them as humans, to have the right to make that decision, even though it's not necessarily one that I would want for them.
Right.
But I like to treat people as individuals.
Yes.
And that goes as that's with any sort of treatment, as either whether it's therapy, whether it's medications, whether it's any sort of behavioral intervention, any sort of coaching. I like to really just ask them to look into their heart and see what's going to work for them, and then we can work together and come up with a plan. But I do believe in giving people that right, even though, like I said, I might be like, ooh, I don't know about this, but
right,
I have to respect them as people.
Definitely. Because I read that you are continuing on your mission to change the conversation from coping with mental health issues to mental health wellness. What is mental health wellness?
So I believe that as people, we are capable of really thriving. And when I say thriving, like mental health wellness to me is you are living your authentic self to the best of your ability, and you feel comfortable expressing it in whatever setting you're in, whether you're at home, whether you're at school, whether you're at work, whether you're with friends. And I understand with psychiatry, we focus on a lot of the things that are wrong. When people come to us when things are already not great.
Right.
But I'm interested in helping people thrive, to be their best selves. And that is mental wellness, helping people truly achieve what they are able to, while they're here living, to the best of their ability.
Yes, because I think people need to really, they need the encouragement, to help with those blocks and hiccups. I call them hiccups. Help with the blocks and hiccups, transforming whatever situation you're in, whether it's relationship or your career, just trying to heal, trying to get better in your life. Now, as a life coach, do you life coach couples?
I don't life coach couples. Sometimes people they can definitely bring their significant other on. Like I've had that situation multiple times, but I do tend to focus on individuals.
Oh, okay. More like, excuse me, more like one-on-one.
Yes, one-on-one.
Yeah, that's probably a little bit more easier.
Oh yeah, I've done. It's really interesting. I've done I have done family therapy and couple therapy in the past.
Right.
And you're right, it is a different scenario because you've got family dynamics going on, couple dynamics.
Yes. Everybody's all over the place.
Yeah, you got, yeah.
I can imagine. Now, medical field, life coach, healer, psychiatrist, got all these degrees, and now podcasting. And I see that your podcast is called Stepping Into Soul Power. And I listened to your trailer, and I like what you said. You said, this is the podcast where we use medical. Here we go with that word again. What is it? Intuitive? What is it? Help me out, Dr.
Intuition, medical intuition.
Yeah, medical intuitions to help you find your blocks and reconnect with the soul in you, peeling back the layers and step into their soul power. You gotta claim it, though. You gotta claim it. The soul in me honors the soul in you. I like that. I was like, oh, you better go ahead with herself. I like that. That was nice. Now, explain your podcast. How did you get started? Well, first of all, how you have time? But how did you get started with your podcast and come up with that great name and I should say title? How'd you get started?
So I'm gonna say this, I think you get to a certain point in your life. I've done, I think as a psychiatrist, I can see people on an individual level, but I'm really interested in changing the world. Mm-hmm. And to do that, I need to connect with people. And the podcast is a way for me to connect with people who may not necessarily be able to come see me, or want to see me as a patient or a client, as a coaching client. But to still be able to talk about things that will help empower them and will help them thrive. I realize that I know a lot, and I want to our world, we really need to change things because there are too many people who are suffering. Mm-hmm. And the podcast really is a way for me to connect with people and also to bring on people who are interested in making the world a better place. There's just so much negativity out there, in the media, and, people are focusing on all the things wrong, but I want people to know that there's hope, that there are things that they can do, that they are incredibly powerful. They are incredibly powerful human beings. And that was my reason for starting the podcast. And I'm like, you have to remember that I'm a doctor, so I'm used to working. I'm used to working a lot. And so I just cut back. Like, I only do psychiatry like 2 days a week.
Right.
And like I said, I spend the rest of my time either like I'm with my family or I'm connecting with other people who are really interested in uplifting others, whether it's like physicians, whether it's like nutritionists, whether it's, community organizers. That's what I'm, that's what I feel like my purpose is. Really helping people realize how powerful they are. Because when they can do that, when people are living their authentic selves, when they're being true, it automatically will make the world a better place.
Right, definitely. Now, I know you don't live in New York, but being that you're a psychiatrist, what do you think the solution is when it comes to the mentally ill that are on living in the subway stations and walking around the streets? Because the mayor, and the governor, they're trying to come up with a plan for the mentally ill people in the street and the homeless. But being a psychiatrist, what do you think are some things that they need to do?
I think they probably need to talk to those people who are I don't like making decisions for other people. I think they need to have a real conversation with those people who they're labeling as mentally ill, and then work together to come up with a solution. I could probably put money on it that those people are not a part of the conversation.
Right.
That there are people at the top who are like, oh, this is a problem and we need to do something about it. But I think that they need to start with a conversation.
Because, a lot of people that I've spoken to, they're homeless. They don't want to go to the shelters. They say the shelters are not safe. They just don't want to go there.
Okay, and I'm going to say this, and I may make some people mad. I kind of understand. Like, I've worked as a psychiatrist within a homeless shelter.
Right.
And I understand why some people would feel that way. Because there are things that happen, that can happen when you are in a place like that.
Yes.
So some people may feel, some people may have had traumatic experiences there, may have been robbed, and so they may feel safer like under a bridge or like in an abandoned building. So I like I said, it is a tough situation. But I do believe that making sure that those people are a part of whatever solution, and a part of that conversation for the solution is definitely a part of the answer.
Yes, because I had Googled the other day as to why homeless people may not want to go to shelters, and 3 or 4 people questioned has spent some time in shelters, with 38% saying the main reason they left was their concerns about personal safety, and they just didn't like the conditions, and sometimes the people that were in there were dirty or not clean, and they felt that they would rather be riding the trains or being somewhere else, sleeping in buildings, opposed to being in a shelter. And that's really sad, So maybe they need to make some changes within these shelters too. I mean, it's cold. You know what I mean? And
you're right. You're right. It is cold.
I'm telling you.
It is cold. And it's a heartbreaking situation.
Yes.
Because I think no one likes that this is happening right now, right? The people who are mentally ill, they don't like it. The people, you and I on the street, our leaders don't like it. It's heartbreaking, but I do feel like we got to figure out a way to have a conversation and kind of put our money where where our mouth is and be real.
Yeah. I think that it's a lot of people walking around, and really need help, because there's a lot of misconceptions about mental health and the mental fitness, and there's a lot of people suffering in silence.
Absolutely.
And their conditions are going untreated. You know what I mean? So it's really a hard task. It's a big, it's very, it's bad. And it's to me, it's getting worse.
I think, yeah. I agree with you that it is getting worse, because I remember being a psychiatrist before COVID, and then now being a psychiatrist, and I just feel like everybody's anxiety level has gotten like so much. If it was like a 7 before, it's like a 15 out of 10 right now. It's so high. And then also, I think shutting down, like what happened to kids. I don't know if you have any children.
I don't have children.
Yeah, but I think just all the kind of the change in the schools and all the back and forth really has not been great for not great for parents, but also not great for kids.
Yes.
And they're feeling like this, just the social skills that are for our kids right now are not where they were like several years ago.
Oh yeah. Do you think COVID caused a lot of this? I mean, when it was the COVID, suicide rate went up. Domestic violence rate went up. Child abuse rate went up. So I think COVID really, COVID really did some damage. People was, it wasn't right. Not being around your families, not seeing your families. And, it did its toll on us. It really did. Did you kind of see more patients when COVID was around?
I'll be honest.
It didn't leave. It didn't leave. It just, it's still here as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, so it was, so I was also working, like I was working, outpatient as a psychiatrist, but I was also working the ER, and the police would come and bring people in. And I absolutely agree with you that like child abuse and domestic violence increased during COVID. And I think like for some people, work is an escape. That it keeps them sane. School, for some children, school is an escape.
Yes.
And when you don't have that, when you stuck at home in a tough situation, in a domestic violence situation, it really does a lot of damage. So I know from talking to the police that, yeah, domestic violence, child abuse, all of that stuff definitely went up during COVID. And then we are, like, when you think about it, we as people, we are social. We thrive when we connect with other people, especially when it's people that we care about. And so when you're isolated, when you have no human contact, like that really can take a toll. There is so much healing that can happen when someone gives you a hug.
Yes.
When somebody holds your hand. And for a lot of people who were stuck, and I think also about like the nursing home situation, the assisted living situation, where people were just like imprisoned. and not able to connect with family. It was heartbreaking.
I went through that. I lost my mother through COVID, and she was in a rehabilitation center. She was only supposed to be there for like 2 weeks, and she caught the COVID. And the devastating part was when Cuomo and them locked us out, it destroyed us. It destroyed us because we couldn't see her. We did do Zoom, but that wasn't enough. I saw my mother every single day, and I stayed with her for at least 10 hours a day.
Wow.
So when that was taken away, it not only destroyed her, it destroyed all of us, my brothers and sisters who wanted to go up there and see her. And then when we finally got her out, she was dying. So this COVID really messed up a lot of families, and the lockdown, it is just so much. That's why I asked you, did you see an increase of patients when this was going on? Because I think everybody was just losing it.
Yeah. Definitely a lot more people in the ER. And right now, like I said, we are having a mental health crisis right now.
Yes.
Are really going through it. And the thing is, there's like a need for healing.
Yes.
Right? That like it was for a lot of people, it was a traumatic experience.
Yes, it was. Losing several family members at a time. It was hard. And that's why I always encourage people, please go see a life coach, go to a therapist, go to a psychiatrist, because we all need somebody to talk to. And I know I needed it. I joined the COVID group of members who lost their parents. I have a therapist, and I'm not ashamed because I know it's something that I needed. And a lot of people are probably afraid to go, but you can't keep stuff inside because you will literally explode. Stress kills. I tell my friends, listen, don't hold stuff inside. I did that, and I almost lost my mind. Stress will kill you. And so I always encourage to go get the therapy that you need. Just talk, get it out, vent, cry. Punch something. Well, don't punch nobody, but punch a bag. Just stomp your feet, scream, let it out. Because it is tough to be a human being and dealing with this world and the things that's going in the world. It's hard.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It is hard. And I love it that you are being so open, that you are being vulnerable, and that you are being an advocate for a lot. Yeah.
Applause to you, because we need people like you. We need more people like you to help people like us that have situations that we don't know how to deal with it. We think we do, and we don't. What do? We turn to liquor. We may turn to pills. We may turn to drugs. But there's always a solution out there if you just talk about it and get things off your chest and know that you gotta love yourself before you love anything and anyone. Put yourself first. Put yourself first. So.
Yes, that self-love is so important. And it is tough to cope because it's like addiction and like substance use. It's I would say that a lot of us are addicted to something.
Yes.
And whether it could be our phones, it could, like, some are socially acceptable. Like, it's okay if you always have your phone and you're always on your phone, like, for a lot of people. But if it's anything else, like, cocaine or heroin, then, like, it's frowned upon. But addiction is something that we really, as a society, we struggle with, and that, there needs to be a huge revamp in that as well.
Oh, yes. I read something that said people should be aware of the consequences of mental illness and must give utmost importance to keeping the mind healthy, like the way the physical body is kept healthy. Mental and physical health cannot be separated from each other, and only when both are balanced can we call a person perfectly healthy and well? Wow. I was like, oh, wow. That was deep. Dr. Ssemanda, you wrote that? I think you wrote that. You ain't got your name down there, but I think it's coming from you. That was really deep.
Yeah, it speaks to my heart, is that we need to be both mentally and physically healthy to really have a good quality of life and to be fulfilled. And I encourage everybody listening to start to put themselves first.
Yes.
And
Yes. Self-love.
Yes.
Self-love, because you can't go around loving everything else and you putting yourself down and you're not, pushing yourself and to keep going and fighting and making yourself happy, because that's the problem. Everybody will go make everybody else happy, but you're not happy.
Yep.
So you got to make yourself happy no matter what. You have to do it. And people can tell when you don't love yourself, because that's when they do anything and everything to you. They could tell how you don't love yourself, because you're allowing things to be done to you. And it just shows that you got to say to yourself, do I love myself? Or why would I allow these negative things to come my way? So I always encourage people, you got to love yourself. Just love yourself first. Put God first, but you have got to love yourself. Heal so you can grow.
Yes.
So, well, Dr. Ssemanda, tell my audience, where can we find you? Email, website, where you at? Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, where you at?
I'm on all those places.
Yes, I know.
Yes. Yeah, you can message me on Facebook, New You Psychiatry, or Soul in You. I'm on there. I'm on Instagram. You can message me on that. New You Psychiatry, Inspire Soul in You. And I'm on YouTube. You can go to the web. I have a website for New You Psychiatry or Soul in You. Just fill out the contact information. I'll get back to you. And I'm really interested in connecting with people, and if there's anything, if any of this spoke to you and you're interested in improving your life and empowering yourself, like, definitely connect. And if I'm not the person for you, it's a small world. I probably know somebody who is.
Exactly.
And yes.
And what's your website?
So www.newu as in unicorn psychiatry.com and Soul in You, SOULINYOU.com. And
the name of your podcast is Soul in You, right? Did I say that right? No, stepping into soul power.
Yes, stepping into soul power.
Are you on all the podcasts? You're on Spotify. You're on all of them, right? Spotify.
Yes, Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Amazon. I'm all over the place.
That's all. And she's telling the truth about that. She got all these 400. She got about 400 degrees up here. I hear that. I'm proud of you. I got to give you a round of applause. This is beautiful.
And I'm proud of you because you're genuine, and you truly have this. You're very thoughtful.
Thank you.
In how you approach. And you don't always see that. Just genuine and thoughtful in your message, in your approach, and you're truly invested in making the world a better place.
I try. I really do. I do. I'm a retired correction officer, so I've seen it all. Did 21 years, and I worked as a mental health officer, so I understand. and then to have a family member like, so I understand, and it's not easy, but people need help. People need help. They really do. We all need it. You can't sit around and point your fingers and say, oh, I'm better than you, I'm good. We are all dealing with something in this world.
Yes, and the test of someone that is truly strong is somebody that can be vulnerable and ask for help.
Yes.
Like that is the real test.
Oh yeah. And I definitely asked her. So I lost my mother. I thought I lost me. I lost a part of me because we were so tight. And I'm the baby out of 5. So I lost myself. And I didn't want to go to my brothers and sisters because they're suffering too. So how am I talk to them? And they were always there for me. But I was like, we got the same mom. So it's like, you're hurting as well. So what can I do? And sure enough, the hospital, Calvary, they called and said, would you like therapy? I said, absolutely. I said, I need everything you got. Everything. Because I'm losing myself. I'm losing myself. And thank God that I had true friends that were there and family for the support. And it's still a struggle. There are days that I can't even podcast. I can't do it. But this podcast is therapeutic for me. It helps me not think so much. And I always said, if I can help one person, I'm happy. I'm happy. So anybody listening out there, please, call Dr. Ssemanda. If you're in her area, call her, please, and get the help you need. And, whether it's life coaching, healing, psychiatry, just please get it. Please, because this world will just, one minute we think we're good, and the next minute something else coming our way. All these obstacles and hiccups and stuff. So we got to learn how to block them, and sometimes we don't know how to do it. We got to get help. We got to get help. Don't be afraid. I think people are afraid, Dr. Ssemanda. They're afraid.
Yeah, and I get it. I understand that because like I said, I'm a woman of color. I'm a Black woman.
That's right.
In the United States. So I know that there are some experiences that you can have that will totally turn you off.
That's right.
From using the medical system. But just know that there are people out there who truly want to connect, truly want to help. And like I said, if I'm not the person for you, I probably know somebody who is.
Yes.
And we can make something work.
Make it work. Let's say we got to claim it. We have got to claim it. We got to claim it. I just want to thank you so much for being on my show. I would love to have you as a guest again. So thank you. And you keep up the good work. I know it's not easy. I mean, you walking around about, 40 hats? We don't went up to 75. You got like 75 hats. You doing your thing. But just remember, I want to tell you this. You helping so many people. Don't forget about you.
Oh,
okay?
Yeah,
because we can do that now. We can be helping everybody. And then when it comes to us, it's like, what am I doing? I'm falling back on myself, but I'm pleasing the world. So please don't forget about you, Dr. Ssemanda.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, honestly, that is advice I take to heart. And that's why, like I said, I do psychiatry 2 days a week. And then the rest of the time I'll work really trying to help empower other people, with doing other things.
That's great. Awesome. You keep up the good work. God bless you. God bless you. And I want to thank you. Thank you so much for being on my show. And I want to end it on this note like I always do. Live, laugh, love. Love you first, because you can't love anything or anyone unless you love yourself first. Stay healthy. Stay focused. Keep God in your life and hug your family just a little bit tighter. Hey everybody, I hope you enjoyed this episode because I know I did. And make sure you be safe and enjoy your weekend and keep listening to Listen Up, Listening podcasts. Thank you so much. Love you, mommy and daddy, forever. Peace.
That concludes this episode of Listen Up, Listen In with your host, Preezy. Hey, yo, Preezy, tell them how to keep in touch, baby.
Go to Instagram, Listen Up, Listen In 5687, and on Facebook, Listen Up, Listen In. You can also email me at listenuplisten5687@gmail.com. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, by following me on social media, you'll be able to see all the platforms my podcast is on. Wherever you consume my podcast, hit the subscribe button so you can be notified when a new episode is posted. Rate, review, and share this podcast.
Listen up, listen in. Listen up, listen in.